If you filed jointly, you could receive anywhere from $400 to just over $1,000. If you file independently, the checks range from $400 to $700. Now, the governor's office says this is the largest program of its kind in state history, helping eligible Californians pay for everything from groceries to gas. People this morning we talked to like getting the cash, but they have mixed feelings about it.
Who doesn't enjoy some free money? But the inflation, grocery prices, food prices, gas prices.
So good news, the lawmakers in Congress are ready to take action, and to address Social Security, they are making several changes. Many Democrats, Republicans are working together to tackle several issues that millions of people are facing. States like Massachusetts and Virginia have established a new stimulus program. It will provide as much as $500 to people that are eligible for it. As negotiations continue in Washington over the future of Social Security, retirees who just won a years-long fight for their pension battles are looking for an even bigger challenge. It is protecting the program to provide steady monthly income to roughly 65 million people. Political tensions are growing over Social Security as Congress faces a 2023 vote to raise the federal government's debt limit. Not only that, folks, but listen to this. Political tensions are growing over Congress, and now reform ideas floated by various Republicans and Democrats range from raising Social Security eligibility age to categorizing the program's funding as discretionary, meaning Congress would have to vote on it every year in order for things to be sent out. And according to the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, an nonpartisan research and policy group, more than 22 million people are lifted out of poverty by Social Security benefits. But as the population ages, the program is heading for a shortfall. The Social Security Trust Fund that pays retirement benefits is on track to pay full benefits until 2034. Beyond that, the fund's reserves will become depleted, but ongoing tax income will cover 77% of scheduled benefits. While many lawmakers of both parties have long agreed that something should be done about Social Security, momentum has been lacking. Action has been delayed amid sharp disagreements on proposed changes. It would include cutting benefits, raising eligibility age, and so forth. Other things like generating additional revenue for the program by taking measures like currently increasing the current cap on the amount of earnings subject to payroll taxes. Because, folks, not only that, but another plan raised alarm among Social Security advocates was put forward by Rick Scott. He suggested that all federal legislation, including Social Security, should sunset and come to an end for 5 years. John Larson said the next year's plan he hopes to continue to push for Social Security into 2023 and beyond. But first, they must apply the payroll tax to wages over $400,000 and also Social Security legislation. So now, New Year's and with New Year days coming soon. Several monthly programs that will provide monthly payments of $500 are going out. There are programs that are using funds the cities who recovered in response to the crisis. It will give money to recipients once a month. Families will be given more money depending on certain situations, like the number of people in their house, and if they are seniors or veterans. A program called in Chelsea, Massachusetts City will give payments to families to help them pay for everyday items like food and utility. The amount one receives from this payment will depend on how many people live in an applicant's household, with recipients with one person getting $200, recipients with two people getting $300, and recipients with 3 people or more getting $400. So, Recurring Income for Success and Equity Program will randomly select eligible applicants and give them $500 for every 24 months or 2 years. So, it's good to see that President Biden is doing this for the American people and sending out stimulus payments. But will it be enough for the stimulus check?
Programs that we have. So, for example, the Community Advantage Loan Program, about $104 billion was lent through that program nationwide, and we didn't have any of that going to any businesses in Hawaii. However, the microloan program with $63 billion lent out, that there was at least one entity, nonprofit entity in Hawaii that lent something in the order of close to $500,000 in very small loans. So, the idea of increasing the money available for these kinds of really small programs, is that in the cards? I should ask you, Mr. Gaines.
Yeah, thank you, Senator. Definitely a good question there. I certainly think it's important to note that it's always a couple things. I call it trust, and then also access to capital. Mm-hmm. And those are very, very critical when we're talking particularly small loans. I would say certainly the trust factor is so critical because, again, I'm a person, I have no idea, I have nowhere to turn, I don't know how to get started. How can we help them really kind of bridge that gap in terms of moving forward? So we have to continue to work on that piece, and I think we all as microlenders are really working hard to how do we figure out a way to use trust to build those connections, to get folks much more involved and focused in regards to that. But certainly, I would go right back to, as you would say, Senator, and say, I think it is important. We need to continue to increase the funding available, the capital available to, it could be microloan intermediaries, but also other partners as well, because again, there's no way with 150 microloan intermediaries we can loan all the funds that are needed out there in regards to the communities at large. So it's still critical. So I would say, yes, we need to increase capital, and we certainly need to use things like.
I know many of you are wondering whether all Americans will be receiving a fourth stimulus check this month. So here's the most important news on this. With prices increasing due to inflation and growing concern about the economy going into a possible recession, more than a dozen states are looking to send money to taxpayers in the form of tax refunds and relief checks as a way to ease the strain on their wallets. To help residents, some states are looking at statewide child tax credits and a gas tax holiday to bring gas prices down at the pump. This follows the federal government issuing 3 rounds of stimulus checks during the economic downturn caused by the crisis. Up to 23 million Californians can expect to receive a one-time inflation relief check starting this October, called a middle-class tax refund by Governor Gavin Newsom. Eligible families can look for up to $1,000, and New Mexico is sending out several waves of tax rebates and economic relief checks to those who qualify. The New Mexico first rebate went out in May and June, with more going out this month and August. Colorado Governor Jared Polis also announced that Colorado taxpayers will get more of their hard-earned money back, with $750 going back to individuals and $1,500 to joint filers this summer. People in Colorado have until June 30th to file their taxes to receive the tax rebate this summer. These tax rebates are money already owed by people in Colorado and are getting back to them nearly a year quicker. Now that's thanks to a bipartisan law signed by the governor. The Colorado Cashback Tax Rebate is one of the steps that the Polis administration is taking to save people in Colorado money and put money back into the pockets of hardworking people. The Hawaii governor also signed a new bill into law. The bill puts more money directly into the accounts of Hawaii residents. The governor first proposed a tax refund in his 2022 State of the State address, given the strong revenue projections, and state legislature was able to increase the amount that will be returned to the taxpayers. The plan provides a tax refund of $300 for taxpayers who earn less than $100,000 a year, or couples earning less than $200,000. Taxpayers who earn more than $100,000 will receive $100. The Idaho State Tax Commission also started issuing 2022 rebates this year. The rebates automatically go to people who were full-year Idaho residents for 2020 and 2021. Now, this includes people who filed grocery credit refund returns, and the rebate amount is either $75 per taxpayer and each dependent, or 12% of their taxes for 2020. The Indiana governor also announced a plan that will return a total of $1 billion to Indiana residents. Each taxpayer will get about $225 in addition to $125 that they are already getting in automatic refunds. In a press release, Holcomb said the refund should benefit Indiana residents as they experience high inflation and gas prices. According to the release, the state's reported revenue for May was $209 over the forecast. For 11 months of the fiscal year, the state's revenues